Good day, everyone. I am Rose and Diamante, and for my report, I'll be discussing the dynamics of local and global culture. But first, let us define the local culture. Local culture is a set of behaviors, beliefs, and customs that exist in a country. Local culture recognizes that people's daily knowledge comes from the shared life experiences and information transmitted to them by their family, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. So local culture has connection to all aspects of curriculum including local art and local music, geography, history, economics, political science, folklore, reading, writing, media, and technology. Next is global culture. Is a set of shared experiences, norms, symbols, and ideas that unites people at a global level. A culture that transcends national borders and exists in many different phases around the world. Pop music, fast food chain restaurants, and Hollywood films are examples of global culture. So, global culture is very important because it can be the exposure to different languages, religions, and interactions, creating connections and showing diversity. In simple words, the difference between global and local culture is that global culture focuses on connecting with many countries and connecting globally, whereas local culture focuses on culture in one place with a common interest and connects locally. Global flows of culture tend to move more easily around the globe than ever before, especially through non-material digital forms. So the following are the three perspectives of global cultural flows. First is cultural differentialism. It involves barriers that prevent flows that serves to make culture alike. Cultures tend to remain stubbornly different. So, culture differentialism emphasizes the fact that cultures are essentially different and are only superficially affected by global flows. So, the interaction of cultures is deemed to contain the potential for catastrophic collision. Samuel Huntington's theory on clash of civilization and remaking of the world order in 1996 best implies to this approach. So, this thesis or this theory, the clash of civilization, is a thesis that people's cultural and religious identities will be primary source of conflict in a post-Cold War world. So this American political scientist Samuel Huntington argued that future wars would be fought not between countries but between cultures. So those who adopt this theory argue that there are lasting differences among and between cultures, largely unaffected by globalization or any other bicultural, intercultural, multicultural, and transcultural processes and flows. This is not to say that cultures is unaffected by any of their processes, but it is to say at their core that they are largely unaffected by them, so they remain much as they has always been, especially globalization. So this theory has long history, but it has attracted increasing attention and adherence in recent years because of the two sets of events. First is the subsequent wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Second was the attack on Twin Tower in New York City, or also known as 9/11, or the September 11, 2001 tragedy. To these events are seen as the product of clash between Western and Islamic culture and seemingly internal differences between them. So cultures cannot easily mix without causing chaos or disruption. Cultural hybridization is the mixing of cultures and integration of the global and local leading unique combination. It emphasizes the mixing of cultures as a result of globalization and the production of new and unique hybrid cultures that are not reducible to either local culture and global culture. Cultural hybridization is a blending of elements from different cultures around the world. So language is just one example of cultural hybridization. So for example, in the Philippines, we have the term Taglish. This is basically a combination of Tagalog and English. A key concept, localization, is the interpenetration of local and global, resulting to unique outcomes in different geographic areas. Another concept, Scapes, by Arjun Appadurai in 1996. Scapes is a global flows involve people, technology, finance, political image, and media, and the disjuncture between them, which lead to the creation of cultural hybrids. So hybridization is the emphasizing increasing diversity associated with a unique mixture of the global and the local as opposed to toward uniformity. A cultural hybrid involves the combination of two or more elements from different cultures and other parts of the world. Next is cultural convergence. It is when cultures are subjected to many of the same global flows and tend to be more alike, or increasing similarities between cultures, which is not limited to beliefs, customer brands, and media. The cultural convergence approach stresses homogeneity introduced by globalization. Cultures are deemed to be radically altered by strong flows, while cultural imperialism happens when one culture imposes itself on and tends to destroy at least parts of another culture. Cultural convergence theory supports that the more interaction two countries have for each other, the higher the potential that their similarities and shared interests will increase. One important political cultural imperialism is John Tomlinson for his idea of deterritorialization of culture. Deterritorialization means that this is much more difficult to tie cultures to a specific geographic point of origins. It is also referred to a weakening of ties between cultures and place. So this means that the removal of cultural subjects and objectives from certain location in place and time. An example of deterritorialization is Adolf Hitler's propaganda campaign that led to World War II. He deterritorialized by banning and burning books that contradicted his values, and reterritorialized by replacing them with his own. That is all for my report.